This video, just like many other videos, are about applied music theory. The topic shouldn't be scary, it's really simple, and that's why I prepared for you a free mini music theory course. It's completely free, and it's very easy to follow, and it's basically the key that is going to unlock all the other videos on this channel. Check it out, guitarinfusion.com, but for now, let's get into this video. What are we talking about today? Well, we're talking about the state of mind that you're in when you're a little bit terrified, you're a little bit scared, a little bit uncomfortable because you don't know what's going to happen, yet you have to make something happen. And that's so important in music and improvisation, and it's a skill that is useful not only in music, but in situations where you have to make a video in front of 3 cameras and you don't really know what the video is going to be about. Well, it's that exact skill that we're going to talk about today. I think it's a very useful thing to talk about and develop. We're going to do that musically. Grab your guitar. We're going to get started right after this. Hi, my name is David Wallerman. Welcome to this channel, which is all about helping guitar players around the world find their voice, develop that voice on the instrument to tell their own personal musical story. And today is the kind of lesson that can happen or cannot happen at all, but regardless, I'm going to try to keep the editing at a minimum. I'm going to make a quick confession here. And as I'm doing this confession, I'm actually practicing the object of this particular lesson with my voice, and we'll apply this with the instrument after. But here's the confession. I got into the studio a couple hours ago. It's the evening. The kids are in bed and decided to come here and make a video. And I had a video planned. And I tried to shoot the video like 5-6 times, and it's just not working. The last few days have been a little difficult, just with a lot of things happening. Like I broke my cell phone, I broke the dishwasher, I broke my laptop, lost the keys to my car. Just a lot of things happening, which means that I was just not in the mood really to make a creative video. And so I tried to make it work tonight. It wasn't. And so what I decided to do is just to practice my improvisation skills on the spot, without necessarily the instrument, just to see if things come up. And that's what's happening here. This is absolutely, as you can tell, I'm sure, I have no idea where this is going. I just know that I really want to talk about what happens when you don't know what you're going to talk about, which is right now. So we are probably, 2 minutes in this video, and hopefully you're still watching. If you are, that means that that's thing that we're after happened. The invisible, it's almost like there's this invisible thread between my ideas and you receiving these ideas. That thread is probably, I think, the most important thing in music. More important than theory, scales, phrasing, more important than that. If you can engage the listener, you, into what you're saying, me, my voice right now, then we need to apply that to the instrument. So Let's do this for a second. This thing that just happened there was a little visual thing that strengthened that thread, right? Because you're like, something happened, something different happened, yet I'm still talking about the same exact topic that I started at the beginning of the video. The thread is kept, right? I didn't completely change. So that's lesson number one. When you are applying this to the instrument, so I have no idea what I'm going to play. I'm going to start with a shape that I know works. I'm not thinking in terms of anything, but I know that this works. All right, the thread is established here. Okay, now if I want to continue that thread, I'm not going to... That's a different piece of the thread, right? That might happen later on in that rope, that thread, but I started with this. So the transition to the next idea needs to have something coherent with this. So that, what does that mean? That means in tone, right? I'm not going to do this and then suddenly, bad example, but suddenly, bad example again, change tones completely. I'm not going to do that. I'm going to go back to the sound that I was using. It was a pretty sound, I think. See, non-edited. My editor, Devin, is going to be very happy about this video. But I'm going to be coherent in sound. And maybe in zone of the fretboard, maybe I'm just going to change one finger. I don't think that's the sound that I had earlier. What did I use? Let's go back to that sound. That's what I was using. So, and this. So hopefully the thread was not broken here. Hopefully I'm still there. Maybe move one finger. Yeah. Okay. The thread is continued here. I introduced a new element. All right. And as I'm doing this, I still don't know what's coming next, but I'm gathering mental clues. Got this. I know that if I move my finger here, that happens. So I'm going to remember this. I'm going to go back to... What happens if I go down? That doesn't change. It's almost like I know that it's going to work because mentally... Yeah. So mentally, I'm making that connection inside, trying to keep in mind that that thread from the beginning to the end needs to be respected. So before I'm playing an idea, I am imagining what that idea is going to be mentally. I'm imagining the notes that I want to aim for. And with all the practice that we've done as players, we should be able to kind of pinpoint what kind of muscles need to be involved in the execution of what we're hearing inside. So that's lesson number one, just hearing, listening, and making sure that we're staying kind of like coherent in the idea for that thread to continue. Another thing that has happened since the beginning of this video, and you kind of do it automatically when you're doing any form of public speaking, you are not going from one idea to the other without reminding the listener of where he came from, where he is, and where he's going. Very much like me starting this this sentence right here. I'm starting my sentence here, and I'm just gonna finish it here. And really, I'm gonna finish here, but I'm gonna go back here, right? So the same idea, but move different places. What does that mean? That means that musically, if I'm starting here, and I want to introduce this, that idea, well, I'm going to bring you there. I started here. I'm going to try to find a path to get there. So this idea is very, long pad type, right? Longer chords. There's not much rhythm involved. Whereas here, there's more rhythm involved. So I'm going to introduce different elements. I'm going to try to bring you from that zone to this one, which is higher, but I'm also going to introduce some elements of rhythm. So I started here, long padded chords. There's a little movement in the thread there, right? Introduce a few rhythm. And I know that I've got to go a higher zone. So gradually I'm introducing more range of notes. I'm introducing the rhythm. And that's my idea, right? You saw that transition? Mentally, I know that that's what I'm going to play right here. I'm not going to go there right away. I'm introducing a little bit of rhythm. And I also know that it's higher in the fretboard. Here it is. So how do you practice this? Well, you practice this by mentally thinking of two different ideas. Where am I? I'm right here. Thinking of two different ideas, right? Different. Like this could be one. Longer chords. The next idea is something like this, maybe. Okay. What needs to happen between this and this? Something needs to happen. You want to make the transition as smooth as possible. So first you ask yourself, what is happening here? Well, long chord, here, single note, rhythm. So I'm going to gradually introduce that. Maybe introduce some single notes. That kind of thing, right? Makes sense? All right. So where am I going with this? I'm going with purpose. Purpose, knowing where you're going. Even if you don't know from the start where it's going to end, have the story, bring the listener, convince the listener that you know where you're going. And musically, it's so important because it will make the difference between, you know what, I'm gonna change tones here. I know this is a different kind of video because I'm really... Usually I edit all this out, but I really don't want to. I want to show you what's going on here. So we've got a backing track here. I have no idea what's going to happen. I start just a few ideas that I'm going to repeat. Now the thread right here, rhythm elements. I'm going to stay in the same zone, but I know that I don't want to stay here forever. So I'm going to gently introduce new notes. We're going places, right? But I'm not going right away to it. Just gently. We're already on a different spot than we were first, right? First we were around here. Now we're there. A new idea, but the progression has been very natural. All right, I'm going to stop here because I think this video needs to come to an end. But what you need to remember is purpose, intent. Remember where you came from. Remember where you are. And try to visualize where you're going. If you don't know yet where you're going, try to open that door. That means maybe try to introduce one note. Just open the door. If you don't like that note, if you're trying this, you don't like it, don't take it. Just very, very gently exploring new paths, and remember that the listener is engaged. If you lose the listener, you lose. You're not playing just for yourself. You're playing for the listener. And even if you are alone in a room, the listener is that inner voice inside of you. There is a listener, a person who appreciates and enjoys what you're creating on the spot. I'm going to stop here. I prepared for you a few backing tracks that you can download for free just to try to explore this kind of thing. Simple backing tracks, and I'll include the charts for you as well for free. Just visit the link below, enter your best email address. I'll be sending you that right away. And if this was your first lesson, check out others. And if you really, really like this one, you should consider subscribing, because every week on Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays, a new video comes out. I was going to say like this one, but this one is really different. But typically we explore a musical concept and try to understand how it works and what we can do with it to tell our own personal musical story. This is what it's all about. Thank you for still watching this. I really appreciate your not losing the thread, and I'll see you very soon. Practice well.